So our last review video for this unit will be budgets, and we've talked about budgets before. But before we get into budgeting, let's review percent proportion again, because that's how we will solve for budgets. So your percent proportion is over of equals percent over 100. Now another way that we say our percent proportion is part over whole equals percent over 100. So if you're looking for what part of a number, you would put your X in the part. If you're looking for the total amount of a number, you're going to put your X here for whole. And of course, if you're looking for a percent, you're going to put X over here for your percent. So for number 1, what is 40% of 50? So what are we looking for here? The part, the whole, or the percent? Let's reread that. What is 40% of 50? We're looking for the part here. So let's put X over 50, which is our whole, equals 40% over 100. Cross multiply, we'll get 100X equals 2,000. Divide by 100 on both sides, we'll get X equals 20. So the part of 50, that is 40%, is 20. Okay? How about number 2? 150 is what percent of 600? What are we looking for here? The part, the whole, or the percent? Looking for the percent. Which number is our part? 150. Which number is our whole? 600. Make that equal to X over 100. Cross multiply. 600X equals 15,000. Divide by 600 on both sides, and we will get X equals 25%. Now, number 3. 80 is 25% of what number? Are we looking for our part, our percent, or our whole? For this one, we are looking for our whole. So, I'm going to put 80 over X equals 25 over 100. Cross multiply. I'll get 25X equals 8,000. Divide by 25 on both sides, and X equals 320. All right, let's talk about budgets. A budget is a plan for how you will spend your money. And if you remember from yesterday, income is money that you earn from a job. Let's talk about our components of a budget. We have our savings, our variable expenses, and our fixed expenses. Savings is money that you put aside for later use. Okay? For example, if you plan on going to college, you can put away money for your college savings so you can pay for your tuition and your books, etc. Or if you plan on retiring after you've worked for a while, that means you won't be working. So put away money into retirement so you have some type of income coming in, okay? Some type of money that you won't be able to get money from a job. Or maybe if you're going on a trip, you can save for a trip, okay? Let's talk about variable expenses. Variable expenses are expenses that can change from month to month, okay? Variable means change. So variable expenses are expenses that could change from month to month. For example, groceries. You might buy a whole bunch of groceries one month and then not buy as many the next month. So that bill can change from month to month. Maybe clothing. Once again, you can buy no clothes one month, and the next month you decide you want a whole new wardrobe. So your clothing expenses will change. And maybe electricity. I know when it goes from winter to summer, my electricity bill changes because I'm trying to cool off my apartment, so my bill goes up a little bit, okay? How about fixed expenses? Fixed expenses are expenses that don't change from month to month. It stays the same the whole time. For example, your rent is going to be the same from month to month. If you have any type of membership, so like a gym membership, a spa membership, any type of membership will stay the same from month to month. And insurance, car insurance, health insurance, that's going to be the same amount every month. All right, let's talk about these questions. Let's figure these questions out together. So when we're doing budgeting, I want you to use your percent proportion for this one, okay? For number one, Felicia earned $800 a month. Based on the table below, what percent of her budget is spent on college savings? So we know that she earned $800 a month. So that is our whole. That's our total amount, okay? Based on the table, what percent is spent on college savings? So let's look at the table. How much does she spend on college savings? $200. So $200 will be our part, okay? Our whole is 800. Make that proportion equal to X over 100 because we are looking for the percent. Cross multiply. I'll get 800X equals 200 times 100 is 20,000. Divide by 800 on both sides. And Felicia saves 25% a month for college savings. Okay? Let's go ahead and flip to the back. Maria's monthly income is $2,000. The table displays the different categories and Maria's monthly budget and the amount she spends in each category. Which statement is not supported by the information in the table? All right, so we need to look for the one that is not supported. Underline that to make sure you remember that. How much is Maria's monthly income? Reread the question to figure that out. $2,000. So $2,000 is going to be our whole here whenever we do our percent proportion. Let's look at A. More than half of Maria's monthly income is spent on rent. So how much is half of Maria's monthly income? We can figure that out by multiplying 1/2 times 2,000. And remember, when you see a fraction and a whole number, change your whole number to a fraction by putting it over 1. Multiply straight across. We have 2,000 over 2, which equals 1,000. Look at the table. How much does Maria spend on rent? $900, right? So, is 900 more than 1,000? Nope. So this statement is not supported. So we looked out there. A would be our correct answer for this one. Let's go ahead and move on to the other ones to make sure that that's the correct answer. So Maria puts 15% of her monthly income into savings. So how are we going to figure that out? A percent proportion. Our part will be 300 because that's how much she spends on puts away for savings. Our whole, once again, is 2,000. Make that equal to X over 100. I'll let you guys go ahead and cross multiply and solve for this one. And you should have got that Maria spends 15% to savings. So this one is correct. So that one is supported. Let's look at C. More than 1/4 of her income is spent on utilities, cables, and groceries. All right. So once again, let's figure out what 1/4 of 2,000 is. So I have 1/4 times 2,000 over 1, which turns into 2,000 divided by 4, which gives me $500. How much does she spend on utilities? $120. How much does she spend on cable? $80. And how much on groceries? $320. Add those up and you should get $520. Does she spend more than $500 on utilities, cable, and groceries? Yep, that's also correct. And D, she spends 14% of her monthly income on her cell phone and other expenses. For this one, we need to figure out how much she spends on cell phone first. On her cell phone, she spends $100, and on other expenses, she spends $180. So altogether, she spends $280 on her cell phone and other expenses. Now, how do we figure out if that's 14% of our monthly income? A percent proportion. So 280 over 2,000 equals X over 100. I'll let y'all go ahead and work that out on your paper. And you should have got X equals 14%. So this one is also supported by the information in the table. So if we were right, our correct answer is A, because A is not supported by the info in the table. So I'll let y'all work on number 3 on your own. Once again, your monthly income is in your question, so that's going to be your whole. Our whole is going to be $2,250, okay? You are trying to figure out which one is not supported. Keep that in mind. And instead of dollar amounts, we have percents. So what will you be looking for here for all of your information? You're going to be looking for your part. Okay? So I'll let you guys work that out, and we'll go over it together.